Food shortages during the pandemic put people into panic mode. This time around, why not plan for the unexpected without having to worry last minute? Auguson Farms offers emergency preparedness food for life's unknown. Here with more details is Auguson Farms President Mark Auguson. Welcome, Mark. Oh, Mark, we can't hear you. It's a little bit of the virtual world we live in.
Okay, there we go.
There
Thank
we
you
go.
so much for having me, and I
Yeah, of
apologize for
course.
that.
We're excited to have you on. And Mark, I wanted to ask you, I understand that Auguson Farms is celebrating its 50th anniversary, which is a huge congratulations to you and your team. And it's also known as the first company to supply families with emergency foods. Could you give us a brief history on you and your company?
Yeah, absolutely. Back in 1972, my father started the company with a milk alternative product that was shelf stable, and it stored for up to 25 years. So we really used that as our foundation product and built additional products to that. We added additional dairy products, we had additional fruits, vegetables, entrees, all kinds of different things through the years. Wow. We've continued to evolve food and how to store shelf-stable food products. What we really focused on is storing what we eat and eat what we store. So we spent a lot of time developing formulas that each person in the family was unique to them. If they had a specific flavor profile, specific taste, we didn't want this to go into a food ration type situation. What we want people to do is eat Auguson Farms and feel like they're eating their normal food on an everyday basis. It tastes just as the quality, the nutrition's there, and as well as the comfort and the enjoyment in our food. Food is a quality, and food and water are necessary for survival. Okay, we need 3 days. We can only live 3 days without water, and after that, the next thing is food. Well, our food is required. Some of it is required to add water. Some of it's required not to add water. So your body needs water. So does your food need water. We need to hydrate our food, hydrate our bodies. Water is very important to what we do, but also comfort, enjoyment, peace of mind is really what we're providing here. We all saw the supply chain really shut itself down the last couple of years. We've seen the supply chain trying to get back into focus and bring supplies in, and we're all wondering, when can I get something, or what can't I get, or what if it just completely stops? That's what we saw when our grocery store shelves. We've seen empty shelves before, but we've never seen them like we saw them during the pandemic. And going forward, we can see that there's going to be continuous struggles there. Auguson Farms has made its career, its focus on preparing families, giving you peace of mind, giving yourself peace of mind that you have food for yourself and your children.
Yeah, and you mentioned the pandemic. There was a lot of food shortages, and you're helping families prepare. So how should families prepare themselves with emergency foods? How would they gauge the quantity of foods they might need?
Absolutely, and that's one thing that we've really studied and really focused on. So caloric intake by day, normally we want to hit a 2,000 calorie diet per day per person, but remember, there is different ages, there is different sizes, there is different people that require different requirements. So really, this is a thought process that we've done the work for you guys. We've made it simple and easy, but what we require and ask you guys to do is think about, how many days should I be prepared for? The government, FEMA, has always said 72 hours. But if you look back in history and you go back to Hurricane Sandy, people weren't able or weren't getting to people's homes until 7 to 10 days. So we've really moved that bar from a 72-hour period to almost a week period. FEMA will even tell you, prepare for 7 to 10 days. Don't just prepare for 72 hours. 72 hours is immediate. I want quick, easy to eat items in my 72-hour period. But what happens if I'm stuck in place? That's when I start referencing shelter in place. So if I'm sheltering in place, I want to be in my safe house. I want to be where my house is, where my food is, where my supplies are. So we want to think about that. We want to think about how many people might be in my house and duration. So there's a little bit of work for the individual to do, but the rest of the work we've done for you. So I would say, first off, think about you. How many people live in your home? Think about how hard it is how far away are you from supplies, and start doing a little bit of calculation. Rule of thumb for almost every single person we get involved with is about at least 30 days per person. Traditionally, and in the past, and some groups even focus on a year's worth of supply of food for each individual in the home. That's a lot of food. You want to make sure you have a place to store it. We don't want to buy food and not use it, or not hope to not use it. But this food is just like a fire extinguisher as well. It's there in case you need it, but it doesn't mean that you have to rely on it on a daily basis.
Yeah, there in case of emergency. And what kind of foods are available and how are they prepared during times of emergency? You provided us with some of them, but tell us what kind of the foods that you offer.
Yeah, that's the fun part, the creative part that I've spent most of my life and career doing it. Obviously, we talked about Auguson Farms. It was a business that was started in the garage of our home in 1972. So 50 years later, you've got lots of different recipes. We have every single one of the food groups, proteins, dairies, fruits, vegetables, all the above. So it's really cool. Most of the products are freeze-dried. There is some dehydrated products. What we want to do is really eliminate moisture in the products, in the food that we're storing, because moisture is your first deteriorator of shelf life and nutritional value. So we look for low fats, low oils, but high caloric intake. When in case of an emergency, I need energy, I need to fuel my body. And so most of the time, we are providing foods that's nutritious, healthy, and tastes good. So there is groups for all of it. There's instant food. We have cold water soluble food. So if I'm in my car, or if I'm hiking, or if I need to something that can be mixed with cold water, I have food to eat instantly. I have food that can be cooked in a simmer process up to 20 minutes. We have food that could be eaten in 10 minutes. Wow. So the preparations are wide and the range is large, but there is a simple step for each process or each person in your family when it comes to food. We've done the work. We've tried and trued. We've gone over this and over this. We've made it easy and simple. Auguson Farms has dedicated itself to preparing families for peace of mind.
Yeah, you've really done it all. Mark, thank you so much for joining us and preparing us. I'm going to let our viewers know where we can go for more information for shelf-stable meals for life's unknowns. Visit AugusonFarms.com. YCL will be right back.